Hello, hello. Okay, so basically, you're welcome to this training, and I will want to say that this training will be basically talking about SharePoint, introduction to SharePoint, right? Introduction to SharePoint, and I would like you to signify if you are there, and let me just share my screen. All right. Hello, hello. So basically, what we know about SharePoint, what we know about SharePoint is that some organization might even decide to say that they needed to give you a SharePoint site for you to work on as a data specialist or not even working in the data space. But today we'll be looking at the introduction to SharePoint. And one thing you also want to know from this is the fact that if you are looking at SharePoint, you are also looking at data kind of storage, content, kind of keeping your content in a compact way. So the first will be, what is SharePoint itself? A SharePoint will be a Microsoft platform that we can categorically say is major in collaboration and content management. We call it document library. So you can use your SharePoint for a document, library where all document is being stored, and also you can share this document within your team. You can even communicate within a team, and you can even build internal website with SharePoint, like intranet, or talk about marketing. You have different departments in a company, and you want this department to be able to have a certain kind of portal where they go to see items or information pertaining to marketing, pertaining to HR. So you can build individual website, which will be like generally a kind of website that is tailored to this particular team. And one very important thing you need to note about SharePoint is the fact that it is integrated with Microsoft 365, meaning that for you to even get to SharePoint, it just is compact. Is compact with what we have as Microsoft 365. So when you are looking at Teams, you are looking at Power BI, you are looking at OneDrive, you are looking at Outlook, you are looking at several of all those Microsoft 365. You can see there that Microsoft SharePoint is bundled together in there. And another thing you can also notice is that we need to know why SharePoint. Why we want to use SharePoint in this current world? One is the fact that you use SharePoint to store, file. It's used for storing centralized file, which is making that your file to be secure. Your file will be secured, and you are able to work amongst your team. And with SharePoint, you can see version control. You can see when someone edited the file. You can see who edited the file, the time the person edited that file. And also, there is always this back and forth with regards to access control, that there should be least requirement, least privilege given to someone to access a document. SharePoint gives opportunity. You can even place an access on the site, place an access on the document, place an access, just put your access, control your access, give permission, grant permission to whoever you need to give permission to in the team, but that will be based off the access you are currently giving out or dishing out. And good enough, we can integrate it with Microsoft Teams. I've worked with SharePoint where we'll be showing a demo currently where you will include your SharePoint, to a Microsoft Teams. So you can see it within Microsoft Teams. You don't necessarily have to go to SharePoint website. You can practically bring your SharePoint website down to Microsoft Teams and have everything within your Microsoft Teams. And within Microsoft Teams, you can upload documents in Microsoft Teams, which is SharePoint link that you have in Microsoft Teams. And it's going to be uploaded to your SharePoint website automatically. And we'll be seeing all this when we start our demo. And Power Automate is another very good thing that happens to SharePoint. And also, you can access it from any device. You can access your SharePoint from any device. And these are some of the key concepts, some of the key terminologies you have in SharePoint, some of the key components. One of it is site. With site, a site is just like a container that has lists, libraries, and pages. So it means within a site, you have some further component, which should be your list, your libraries, and your pages. And a site can be divided into two. You can either create a site, which a team site, or you create a communication site. Now, for a team site, I will be explaining what is the difference between the team site and the communication site later, right? So, because a team site will be generally be a collaborative, kind of site where you want your information to be close within a team. So say, for example, in a company that is a group, there are several teams. We have the finance team, you have the marketing team, you have the product team. Now you can create a marketing team site, finance team site, and also create a product team site separately, individually. Everyone in the finance will be able to see data or document relating to the finance team. Everyone in the marketing will be able to see the marketing. So you just put, so it's specifically a closed kind of team, which is for everyone within a group or a team. Now, for communication side, is a broader one. It goes beyond just, so generally from this scenario, you can say a communication site would then be for the entire organization. So say, for example, you want to give information about job updates generally across the company wide, is something like communication site will be likely for that. But today we'll be looking at team site. We'll create a team site, do everything we have to do within a team site. Now, after your site, there is another thing we have: list. List is part of what you have within a site. List is more or less just say list is Excel in the cloud. List is Excel in the cloud. It's Excel. It's just practically like Excel, and it has more customizable items that you can do on a list, more than Excel, more than what Excel can do. Because with a list, you can see who edited what at what time, the last refresh or update or something was done on the list. So we'll see how that goes when we start demoing. You can use it to store your data. You use your list to store your data, and also when we move forward, you start looking at library. For a library is more or less where you keep your document. Library documents used for storing document. We will see all these. You can store either Excel, either Word document. You can store several types of document within the library, all which will be within a site. And a site could either be a team or communication site. Just wanted you to understand this key component properly. There is a web part. A web part is being created within a site. So it's just a content block that you can add to a page within a site. So we'll get to that level. You have a permission levels. There are 3 levels of permissions within SharePoint. You have the owner, the member, and the visitor. So most likely, whoever creates the SharePoint site will be having owner. Now you can grant people member or visitor, but majorly you grant people member. Now, member will be able to have access to the site, but might not be able to edit the site. But for owner, you can collaborate with the owner, right? You can collaborate with the owner, and that is you can collaborate with the owner. So you can collaborate with the owner to owner level, you collaborate together. Then we have workflows and automation, which is you integrating Power Automate within SharePoint. You can automate a task within SharePoint. And finally, you have search and AI. In fact, SharePoint allows you to search for document because we call it document library. Imagine you have a whole lot of documents from say 10 years back within SharePoint, and somebody is just joining your company. The person can go in the search bar of SharePoint and search for the document. You can search per document. So that is how fantastic and amazing SharePoint can be. And looking at this now, we have team side and communication side. But I said we will have to move into the demo for you to be able to understand better. So for collaboration, file sharing, and group project, that is what team side is for. While communication side will be for broadcasting, and also for information, broadcasting information to a wider audience. And let's quickly get started with SharePoint. So I'll create a new slide here. Let's check the slide, and then for that we'll be able to just create our slide of this. Okay, now I can see this. I can see, let's see what we are able to see within the screen there. Okay, all right. So now, as you can see on my screen, that I have just a blank page here. I want to be able to confirm that we are able to see. Okay, so we are not. Let's reshare our screen. I'll share this. Okay. Now, as you can see, now we are back and better. So back and better. And what I can see here, can you confirm what you can see, the screen that you can see for me, please? Okay, yeah, I can see now. Thank you very much. So I have, you can go from Office 365 to get your SharePoint. So let's just go office.com. I'll just go from office.com, office.com. Now it loads, and you are currently able to see your office. Now this is office.com. So from the office, in fact, you can even go directly from Microsoft 365. So you need to click on this J icon at the top here. If you click on it, that will give you all the Microsoft 365 applications that you have. And as you can see, you have Outlook, you have OneDrive. All these applications can be integrated together with SharePoint. So now you have OneDrive, you have Excel, you have PowerPoint, but then what we're looking for is SharePoint. You can just click on your SharePoint there. And that takes you to the landing page of your SharePoint. So now that we are on the landing page of the SharePoint, you can see here that this is SharePoint. And the major thing you want to know on your SharePoint is that this is how it is. This is just the landing page. Some companies, or maybe probably if you have your SharePoint personally, you might have designed give a different design for this. But on this left, you have the navigation pane. Now, first thing you have is your home tab, which is the SharePoint home tab. This current SharePoint page that I am on is like the tenant wide SharePoint. What do I mean by tenant wide site? This is like a general site for SharePoint that you can now start creating other sites inside of it. This is the general overview. So, because you will notice that I have some site. If I click on this data analytics training site, it will be a site within the general site. So this is, you see that this is like a different view. So the data analytics training is a different view. So I have to go to the data analytics and then going back to the general. So now I have the general site now, and the next thing I have here is going to be my site. So all these tabs give you different elements or components of SharePoint. If I click on the next one, I have the frequent. That is the site that I frequently visit. So I frequently visit this top site. However, I followed the site that is at the bottom here. If I go back to the home, I can also see that, because from the home tab, you are able to see the following. All this, I'm following all these sites. However, this bottom one is the recent site. These are the sites that I've visited recently. However, I'm following all this. I can even see all the sites that I have been following. So I've been following this site, data analytics training, TechBams HR, TechBams solution, marketing, etc. These are the sites that I've been following. So I need to go back to the home tab. Remember, the first home tab here is the tenant home. So the next one is my news, which is the third icon on the navigation bar. And this gives you like a general news that you want to pass across in your company. Remember that news could be a news for a closed group or a news for a general group. A news for a closed group will be a news that you are currently ditching out to your team, just your team. A news for a general view will be a news that is a company-wide news. So it depends on what site you created from the beginning, either a communication site, which is like a company-wide site, or a team site, which is a closed team, personal closed team. Okay, site. Now the next thing, why SharePoint is amazing is this side, which is files, my files. This is where we call the document library. Anything you drop in here goes here. In fact, I can even add a link to YouTube or a link to any video online within SharePoint, and people will be able to view it. So as files. So these are the files. And then you have this next one, which is currently like your hub, and which is like the list, my list, which that list is more or less like Excel. I will show you how to create one as we go on. And finally, you have create. So created will tell you what you can do, the object you can have within SharePoint. So these are the objects you can create. You can create a news post. Anytime you want to create a news post, it will ask you or prompt you, where do you want this news post to go to? Do you want to go to a particular site, or which site? A new page, a new site, then all this document. But the first thing I want to do is to create a site, and then we'll see how that goes. If you go to the top right here, top right corner, you will see that we have, provide feedback, and we have settings. There are some settings that you see here, and then at this level you have help. So these are what you have. In fact, within this SharePoint, look at this search here. This search button, I might be looking for something. Let's say I'm looking for training. Let's see what happens. Training. If you search it in there, it will give you all the content that relates to training. That is why SharePoint is amazing. Are you talking of a Power BI training? There's another training you have, data analytics training. So it's really amazing. And even at that, you can even still filter what kind of training you are looking for. I will get to that later, but let us just remove this and create a site now within SharePoint. So we see create a site options like we have said. Create a site is either you are creating a team site or a communication site. Can you see? Creating a team site or a communication site. However, what does a team site? What did you do? So you see like the options here that create a private space to collaborate with your team. If you are in finance team, you can use team site, which is going to be a closed team kind of chat. You want to communicate with about 10 or 20 finance team members or finance analysts. You can track and stay updated on the project status. You can even share team announced resources and co-author content, because you can be working on a particular file and another person is also working on it simultaneously. That is another good thing about SharePoint. And the next one is communication side, which is always for information at a larger group. But then we are not creating communication side today. All what we'll be doing will be on the team side of things. So let's click on the team side and you will start having amazing things here. One of the amazing things you have here is to create a standard team, or you find any available template. These are templates. Let's assume you are looking for a training course. You can add a training course here. So for this particular one, let's say I want to create a training course. I want to create a training course and I will be using a training course template, which is this one here, this blue icon. I click on that and it gives me some of the things that it has by default. So site capabilities, display course description, share course resources, all these are what we have in there. So, and because that is good for me, all I just need to do is to use the template. So the first aspect here, whenever you are creating a site, remember this is a closed site, which is pretty much like an in-house kind of site. So what we can do here is now to create the name of the site. Let me just say April training. Let's say June training. We can call it June training cohort. Yeah, June training cohort. And with that, I can even give a description. Yeah, this is a cohort for the June mentees. Okay, this is a cohort for the June mentees, and I have it here. So this is like the site URL now. I have this site, and then this June cohort is just going to be with it. In fact, I can even space it here. It doesn't matter. I can space it and say June training cohort. It will still remove the spaces at this level, which is not a problem. Now we are creating this site. We are using a template, a standard template, so that we don't do so much. I can click on next. Now, the next thing is to select your language and your privacy settings. Your privacy settings is going to be, do you want a public or a private? Private will be only members of the team. Remember, we are doing this for members. If you say public, it means anyone in the organization will be able to see the report here or whatever you are doing. So we don't want public. We want it to be private, so that we'll grant access to emails or communication emails. There are some communication emails. Maybe you want to have data analytics at techbams.com. Data analytics then have a lot of emails of people under it. So you just grant access to data analytics at techbams.com. So, but this is private and English is what we have. Then we can create. While that is loading, you can as well add members. who are the members that you want to have in here. So if you are doing it for a company, because this is Office 365, every email the company has is just for you to type a name. Just start by typing name, Bami. Yeah, you are able to see Bami at so. Then you click it. Is this a member or owner? I will just say this person is owner. So if you have any other person within the team, I don't have anyone again within the team that I want to add, but that is fine. At least it's just for you to type in the name. Then is that you select a member or owner. So owner will mean that this person will be able to collaborate with you. So, and that is fine. Let's finish this. Now your site is currently loading, and you can see from the top already, this is a site for us. And within this site, you can see that there are some general things in here. Is empty. It came with some projects. It came with some files. Normally, is because we use this template. If we had used a template, all these projects in one, all these folders are preloaded for us. They are preloaded for us. Now, June training cohort, this is a sample of a site. Now, will be a site that will not be pre-built like this. So for us to do that, we want to create a new site. So let us go back to SharePoint, which is the tenant. I just click on the SharePoint here. It comes back to the home. Now, what do you see at this level? The site we just created as shown up here now, June training cohort. But I want to create a new one. I don't want to use the other method from a default. So I'll still say team site. Now, instead of using a pre-loaded training course, I can take a standard form, a standard team. Yeah, I'm taking a standard team here now. So I'm taking that one, and this is going to be like a very minor one. So use template. I will use this template. Now it's asking me for the name of the site that I want to prepare. So let's give it a name. Let's give it a name. So giving it a name will mean that I can give it let's say Tableau training. For the Tableau training. Okay, Tableau training. That's fine. This is a training for Tableau specialists. You can put anything in there. So this is a training for Tableau specialists. I will just be using the same approach. Now it's asking me for private or public. Is this still on? Sorry, is my screen still on? It's not paused from my end. It's not paused on my end, please. Let's confirm if it is still on. Let me see. Is this still on? Please confirm that it is. Okay. So I have this now. I have private. I'll still select my private, and I want my language to be English. Then I create this site. This is still going to be the same thing. Bami. I'm trying to pull a name, the same by that is loading. I can finish it in here. And as you can see, everything is working fine, and you're loading. You're currently loading, and it loads this is a site, and this site gives you opportunity. This site gives you opportunity to be able to have every other thing. You will notice that the same thing wide is what we have in here. We have the same. This is now TT. Tableau training. Within Tableau we have conversation. What conversation does is it gives you like the email address. Conversation takes you to like the email address of the site. So, but we are not going there. We have document, and this is where the juicy thing happens with SharePoint. All your document can be preloaded or loaded in here. There is document. Within document, you can add things here. You can see share with us. You can see a lot of things. So, and also if I go back to the home, we have a lot of things, activities and the likes. But what I want to do is, let's say I want to create a new document. Let's go to our document. Do we have any document in here? Because we call SharePoint document library. Look at it. There is no document currently. So since there is no document, we can load document in here. In fact, if you look at the new year, these are the things you can do. You can either create a folder or create a Word document, create Excel within this particular Tableau training, which is a site on its own. But what I would be doing is I will be uploading. I want to upload files in here. Let's say we want to upload a file in here. You can even upload a folder. Let's say files. Now I have clicked on uploading a file. If you can see that, so uploading a file, right? The file, I can just click on the files that I want to upload and drag the files in here. I'm dragging the file to my current page. Now I've dropped the file. Let's see what happens. I've dropped the file, and then you can see that it's loading the files already. Just drag and drop. Just by dragging and drop, I've dropped the files, and I'm dragging another thing in here. You see, that also is loaded. Now we have files within our now within our SharePoint, as you can see. So what do you have with this file? You have the name of the file, you have the date it was modified, you have who modified it. This particular thing you are seeing here seems to be like a SharePoint list. In fact, you can do a lot of things with this particular file. So how do you get out of here? You can go back to the home. Now at the home, you will start seeing that at this level now, there is at the level here, there are files now. We have all these files. All these files have been added, and you will see it under the activity as well. You see it under the activity. You have data analytics training manual. You have Excel function, etc. These are the files that have been added to this particular list. So if I go back to the document again, going back to the document, you can do some funny things here. You can even add a new column. Let's assume you want to track if the file is active or not. You want to track if the file is active or not. You need a new column to be placed on a document, and you continue to say, okay, this is active and this is not active. So let's say we have a yes or no. Yeah, because anytime you click on the new column here, you are able to select some option, column option. Do you want to create a test field, a choice? A choice is for you to select agree, strongly agree, disagree. That is what a choice field will be doing. A date column, multiple lines of text. Maybe you have a long list to write something, or person. Maybe you want to track who is editing at a particular time. You can track it, or who is the owner. I will do a person feed. Now, all these are a lot of things you can create. But for me, I want to create a yes or no field. A yes or no field. So, and it gives me the condition, the name. I will say is active. This is to confirm if the document is active or not. Is yes or no. Now look at one funny thing here. You can either set it to default to a yes or no. So anytime you are creating a document, once they create the document, it should be active. So that is what the what we'll feel. Okay, so if it's active, let's default it to yes and then save. Now you didn't see anything. It didn't nothing happened, but you can edit whatever you have in here, because any for this one that have been created previously, it's just not seeing it. Let's just say active, active, active. This one is not active. Let's say this one is active. This is also active. This is also active. We have this one not active, and this one is finally active. I have edited in grid view. This is more or less like Excel, practically Excel. If you look at it, you can edit something here, but let me exit. For you to save anything in SharePoint, list like this, you need to exit the grid view. Now we have exited. See what happens. This is it. And for us to test this, let's upload a new document. That document should have a tick button saying that it's active. Let's upload again a new file. And this new file, I want you to pick it and then drag something out and say, okay, I will just drag one thing here. So I've just dragged it out. I've just dragged it in there now. You see, this is the file I just added. This one here a few seconds ago. So you will notice it's sorting by, you see this icon you see here, it means that they are newly added document. All these files are newly added document. This one is still currently loading. If I click on the refresh button, refresh, let's click on the refresh button. Let's click on the refresh button, refresh button. Now our file is refreshing. You see March 2025 Power BI dry run. You see it here now. So very fantastic, very amazing. Let's add a new column. And this time around, we'll be adding a column for the owner. Owner, we can use person. There is another condition here. We have something we call person here. Where's the person field? A person field. That one is going to be in your company. Let's say owner. Owner is a person or group. Show profile picture. You can decide to say you want to show the profile picture of the person or not. Let's just say it's okay. Now we have a new column here, and this column is saying owner. By default, nothing is happening. I can edit one. Let me just edit one of them and edit this in grid view. Edit in grid view so that you come to something that you can edit. If you click on it, by the time you start typing, because it is owner, you will start seeing those in your company. So for me, I just want to add that. In fact, it's more or less like Excel. Like I said, you can even drag down. You can drag down. I'm dragging down just like me doing Excel. Just like Excel in there. I want to edit this one, remove this one, and I'll say this. I can say exit grid view. If I've exited, I'm saving it already. And now I'll be having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns that talks about this data, that talks about these files that I've uploaded. So now that I've done this, another juicy thing you can do is to add it to your Microsoft Teams. Look at it at the bottom here. Add to Microsoft Teams. Add to Microsoft Teams. In fact, there is this option of you at the right also, at the top right, to apply site, inviting members, all these things you can do, post news. I will remove this. And let's say that, oh, whatever we have done in here, we want to do a news and tell people that, oh, there is something that is happening. But before we do that, let us add this to our Microsoft Teams so that Microsoft Teams will be syncing with this within Tableau training. Let's say add, and it's giving you options here. I can continue. I don't know why this thing is active here. Why is it here? Why is it here? Okay, let's look at something. Can you still see it? So let's continue here. Continue. I just click on continue and it's giving me home tab, which is fine. It's selecting something for me and document. This is the recommended. I will just leave it at that. Add teams. Add to teams. I just click add to teams at the bottom. I put it out. So add to teams. So it has been added to teams. It has been added to teams. And the next thing is how, what is happening? Let's go to teams. Teams account. Now and you should be able to see whatever you have done now within the teams. So we have a team channel now that loads and it will give us a team. And from okay, let's try team. Microsoft team. Let me refresh this. Trying to load the Microsoft team. I just hope it loads successfully now. If that is not loading, like I said, that everything is always linked together. We can even go back to our SharePoint and go and navigate for Microsoft here. If you go to this top two, apparently maybe it's navigating somewhere else. Let's click this to this J icon. Okay, now let's select Teams. That should be from wherever we are. While the team is loading, we are waiting, we are setting things up. Okay, yeah, Teams is coming up. Fantastic. Let's see some amazing thing that you notice here. Document library, you don't need to move up and down. So this is me, and now we have added it. Look at it here. Can you see Tableau training? Tableau training has been added. I'll just click on it, click on general. Now I'm inside the Tableau training. Okay, within Teams, how can we have our data? Now, let's look at files. There is no post currently to Teams. Name modify is active, but what about the file? Nothing is happening. That is because I'm inside general instead of being inside document. So I will just go back to document now. That one is the other side is SharePoint, but we have been able to sync both of them together. Everything we have in Microsoft Teams now is in SharePoint. Everything we have in SharePoint is in Microsoft Teams. For you to know that, let us upload a file inside Microsoft Teams here and go and check if it's uploaded in SharePoint. That is document, that is the sync that we have. I will click on upload a file. And this time around, I want to upload a file called March 2025 cohort. March 2025 contact information. March 2025. Look at it. Update March 2025 contact information. I just drag the file inside my SharePoint. See it here. March 2025, a few seconds ago. Can we now go over to a few seconds ago? Can we now go over? It's saying a few seconds ago. Can we now go over to SharePoint and confirm if this works? I'm going to SharePoint now. See my SharePoint here, March 2025. There is nothing like the owner at this level. You can edit the owner anywhere. Let's edit the owner. If you look at this one on the SharePoint, now I'm on the SharePoint. And if you click on it, see the same view that you have, edit in grid view. You are still having that kind of thing here too. So I've just clicked edit in grid view, and within SharePoint, I can edit things. March 2025. Where is it? This is it here. March 2025. Let's say Bami, and then I click this is the owner. Okay. Once I'm done, I can just say exit grid view. That is like you doing Excel, exit review. Now it has been edited in SharePoint. Does it sync with it has been edited in Teams? Does it sync in SharePoint? Let's see. March 2025. Look at it here. A few seconds ago. This is it here. It has been edited here too. So, and that is how you see that there is a sync between them. Okay, let's say that there was another link that I created the other time. If you look at this particular link, if I click on this TT, it takes me back to the home page. It takes me back to the home page. And from the home page now, I can do some things. I can say, okay, this home page is not so fine. I want to be able to do some things in this home page. I can edit it at the top right here. Let's assume I want to put a countdown or a banner. This thing is not looking good. I need a banner. Let's edit it. Two column here. This is one column. This is another column. You need to click on the button here to add a section, and it will give you what kind of section do you want to add. I've just clicked on it. But three column is there. But the one I want to do is a full width section. I want something at the top, just like a banner at the top. So I can use a full width section. So look at it. This is it here. It's just at the top. And once I have that, next thing I can do is requesting for a banner, because that is the only thing I can have, the banner. And you see that there are some cool banner at the tail right end here that I could have selected or add. So you can delete it from here, delete the web part, so that we go back to the normal. Yeah, which is good. This one that we added, let's add the banner. I will just click on this banner. Now it gives me some things here. The banner is giving me like a blue kind of icon, fade blue. That is seen from here, field. You see, if I change another thing and put different thing, maybe author, it will change to something like this. If I think I still prefer the fade. I will give it a title, and I think we should be fine. Let's add a title. So let's say 2025 W training group. Okay, let's say 2025 W training is fine. 2025 W training. That will be the banner, the top there. Okay, that's not bad. Let's see if we can have some images that will make our life very beautiful. So we can add images. There is written image I don't have, but there is something called stock images that is stored for me. I can see, let's find something cool. Let's find something cool. You can even search, or let's take something like this and then insert it. Insert something. Yeah, okay, it came like this. Not bad. This is not bad. Okay, that is fine. This is good. Site, you can also change that. But I'll close this and go back to add another session. Let's assume the training is starting in a month's time. What we said is in June. So let's go and select something else. You have this, and then you can add a new session, and that one too will be like, let's look at what we can do with this. So what kind of thing can we add? Let's add something from this bottom. We add countdown. Let's add a countdown. Now this is the countdown. However, we can edit the countdown with this icon, edit properties. Let's click on it. Now it gives me the date is this, which date down. I can click on inside this date, click inside this date and then say this is not starting until June. It's not starting until June 30th. It will calculate the hours automatically. This is now 72. Let's change it again to maybe June 12th. It's now 54 days. Let's just say we add it. Now we have a countdown. What we have, you can close the top there and then have what you are. You can even edit individual of all these. So it takes some time to load, edit whatever you have, but you can see now this is done here. Now let's say we want to post again and say anything you do, yeah, you have to republish it for you to be able to save. Ready to republish? Yes. So once you republish it, it saves the copy. And this is our site, our page. And basically, you can just go here and say post a news. A news. I'll just post in that news will come here. Let me close. Let me close whatever I have now. I'm closing it. Look at news. There is no news currently. There's no news. So let's just say, okay, our go live training is going to be in so days. That's what I want to do. Let's go to new post. Okay, is this blank? I don't want blank. Let me pick something. Starter, virtual, basic test, status update. And something like status should be fine. Status update. Let's look at status update. Yeah, status update. And then I will just click on create post. There is create post at the bottom. Whatever you have here, and say our go live training tableau training in a bit. Go live training tablet training in a bit. We have made remarkable progress this month, whatever in the construction. Let me just say this is to notify you all that our tableau training is coming up strong. Stronger. Something like that. It's just a news. So you change whatever you have in here. It's now a news. So this is like a news. You are giving people information, right? So we are fine. Let's assume we are fine. And then you can see at the top right corner, you see post and send. Now I'm posting and sending. So we'll now go and see how that comes to play. So yeah, it's gone already. It's gone already. See how it's going to be. How I go live tablet training in a bit. You can even send it via email. Bami. TechBams. To people that maybe probably are fond of using email. You just send it to their email. You can copy someone, go live in a bit, then come down and send. Send. So I've done two things. I've sent it to my email, and likewise, we can go and check the email, the Gmail that I sent it to. So look at it here. You can start a new post in here within we can start a new post within this SharePoint channel. SharePoint channel within Teams. Let's go back to this one. Okay, so let's close this and go to our home. We should have a news now at the bottom of this. Let's go down. Where's the news? Look at it. News. How I go live tableau training. So we have a news in there now and it's loading. If you click on the site in your site within your team, you are going to see that it's going to be linking to the site you have in SharePoint. These teams, another site of SharePoint. So this is Tableau, right? Let me go and find another site. What would be the site? Let's go back to the SharePoint, general SharePoint page. If you click on this Tableau training, it is going to be everything in here. So again, before I even go over there, a very good function that you have within SharePoint is the search bar. This search bar that you see at the top here. Let me go to document. I'm looking for a document. I know that it has Power BI, but I don't know. Or I know that it is a Word document. And I have a lot of documents in here. So let me just say you can filter here. See filter at the top here. View of all the documents. So you all the documents here, you can change it to auto hide compact view. This is compact view. This is list view. I can even remove it, and then basically, so that is what we have in here. I'm trying to see the filter. Yeah, now you see what is this doing? Is trying to look at the document and trying to look at the document type. I have Excel, I have other, that is, I have Power BI, PBI file, I have PDF, I have Word. I'm not so sure. Let me just reduce this. Not so fine. Okay. So I have all these. I can reduce it to the one that was modified in the last 3 months or 2 days. So let me see, I'm looking for Excel or a PBIS file. I can just filter it and everything filter. Oh, there's just one PBIS file inside this document. So what if I want PDF? The next one, PDF. Oh, one PDF, that's fine. What about Word document? One Word document. Okay. What about Excel? And you are able to see that there is a filter that can help you filters everything that you have in here within, and you can even search here. Let's assume I'm looking for pivot. I can just type, I don't know if it is pivot table A or pivot table B, but I can just use pivot. And when I search pivot, it goes, and so it's searching for pivot within Tableau training, not within your entire SharePoint, because there's something we call the entire SharePoint, and there's something we call the Tableau training the site for Tableau training. So this is just the Tableau training site, data analysis training, and then pivot. So let me remove this and then go back to the entire SharePoint. That is the tenant. Now you will notice now that we'll be having Tableau. Yeah, we now have Tableau training. Tableau training as like a website. So this is like the group SharePoint, where SharePoint site, where everything falls under. So you can see at this level that we are good. We have now. Let's assume that I want to copy this data analytics training website again. I need the link. Let's just click it. I'm clicking this one. This has been created previously, and training go live. This is not the one we created. This is a previous one. Now I want this previous one also to be in Teams. I can just copy this site. Let me click on this D. Copy this site. Okay, that is it here. Control C. And let's go to inside Tableau training now. This is Tableau training, and this is general for Tableau training. Inside Tableau training, I can just go to add new tab. You can even add Power BI, add a Power BI, so that Power BI directly links to your team. But what we are looking for is SharePoint. You can type it SharePoint if you are not seeing it. So I can see it here, SharePoint. I'll just click on the SharePoint. So that is another manual way of adding a SharePoint directly into your channel. We call this thing channel now in the the website, the site that we created on SharePoint. So let's look at it. Now you see Tableau training. We are in Tableau training. So add content to your Teams channel from Tableau training. No, I want to add it from any other website. You see that it's asking me to paste a link. The link that I copied just now. This link is just the data analytics training link. Look at it here. So I can save it. And I'm saying post to the channel. See, it's giving me another site here. It's calling it home for me. I will change it. Let's see. So you will notice now that this IT training is different from the one we have there. Look at it. The same. So you can have several SharePoint site to this particular what is it called now? Particular Teams channel. So I can just right click here and rename data analytics training. So this one is data analytics. If you change it at the tab, you see, we have data analytics training. For this one, I'll rename this one. Instead of site, I'll call it Tableau training. Let's save. Do you see what is happening? I can rearrange. That's fantastic thing you can do. You have the Tableau data analytics training. You have the Tableau training. That was the site we created ourselves. And everything within that is amazing. I think it's amazing. You can be asking your question because we'll be ending this live soon, but I want to do something very quickly. I need to go back to let's go back to the home. Let's go back to the home, which is the SharePoint general SharePoint home. I want to go to the Tableau training because that will be the major one we have done. So we can also create a list. Here. So we can create a list here. New. I just click new and then list. So you can create a list based off the blank list or from an existing list or from Excel or from CSV. So from existing list, maybe there is a list currently that you have somewhere else. You want to bring the list here. That is existing list. So let's create, let me use template. I will use a template. So from template, let's use from template. So I'll create something, let's see, product support metrics, job application, reading list, research, expense tracker. Isn't that amazing? Expense tracker. Let's see what we have there. Once you click it, you'll be able to see the expense. Okay, household expenses, grocery, this. Okay, what I want to do now is, let's see, and the problem is that the data doesn't come. It's just a template. You have to input the data yourself. Expense tracker, Tableau, expense tracker test. Okay, let's say we create it and it should show in site navigation. It will be side. That is what that Tableau, see, Tableau expense tracker. So we have all these: item, date, amount, category, description, receipt, and created by. So I don't know, I don't have anything. I can either add item and be doing it manually like this, or I edit in grid view and be adding it. What is the item? Is it not the name of the power bank? The date, let's just assume we have a date here. We'll just select one date, amount 20, and dollar category. This category should have, is it personal or household or car? Let's say is personal. Description for charging phones. For charging phones, receipt. This one is going to be image. You had the image of the receipt, but I don't have image. Okay, so that is fine. So that is good. Let's just copy whatever we have in here. Control C. I love to Control V. 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 This is you doing Excel now. Control C, Control V. That's what I was just doing. So let's say I like this one. Hold down your Shift and Control key, Control C. You see that it's doing like Excel copying. Come here, Control V. Come here, Control V. Okay, let's assume we are now changing some of the item here. 21. No. Let's say this one, April. No, I want to go up a bit to March, and this one is going to be 300. What kind of expenses is this one? I will say it is for head, and I want to say head prices. So something like that. And this one is not power bank now. This is let's say hospital visit. Hospital visit. So hospital visit, and you have that. So let's assume another expensive we have here is hobby. Okay, transport. So let's say transport to rugby stadium. I'll just copy whatever I have in here. I'll put it in my description. So you see stadium. So you see what we have here. Copy, Control C, Control V. Now we have this. So let's say this is like $50, and power box, and this one is going to be in, let's assume, February 11. It's personal for charging. Okay. Okay, power bank again. Let's assume this one is $100 on personal. Okay, I can exit review. Yeah. One final thing I will close with is that you can insert your data from SharePoint to Power BI. You can practically bring all what we have in here to Power BI. Tableau training, but what are we looking for? Expense tracker. You can bring this expense tracker, load the data in Power BI, and do your visualization in Power BI. How do you do that? I don't think I need this last line. So the last line here, I can delete that. Delete. Okay, so we are good. Personal, add or be personal. Okay, so I can say, okay, let's go open Power BI. Power BI. And pull our data, this SharePoint data, this is like Excel, pull it into Power BI, where I will end this trading until some other time when we start having. I have my Power BI here currently opening. So why that is as my news. So basically, they are all synced together. That is one good thing you can have with SharePoint syncing. Okay, let's see what is happening. So let's reload this one. SharePoint Online. SharePoint Online. That connector is what we'll be connecting to bring in our data from Power BI in thing is wrong somewhere or is frozen again. I just need to let me reshare. Is it from my end? Okay. Oh, I think it's because of what I shared. Okay. Now it's coming up. We are now in Power BI. So this is part from Power BI, and I will finally put whatever I did. So we have this. I'm still waiting for Power BI to load the more. Now it loads the more, and I can just type my SharePoint here. SharePoint. You see, SharePoint folder, SharePoint online list, SharePoint list. You can use SharePoint online list. You can drop your question if you have any. All right. Can you imagine? The question is, what is the site URL? Now, it's very amazing, and you need to be able to understand what site URL is. So this is when I started, this is creating a list. What is site URL? In fact, you don't need to stress yourself looking for site URL. You see this TT logo, which is for Tableau. This particular list is in Tableau training, right? All you just need is right click it and copy the URL. Copy link address. This TT logo where your SharePoint list stays. I'm going back to Tableau and to Power BI, pasting the link. See where it stops. Tableau training. It stopped at Tableau training. Everything I have, techbams.sharepoint.com site, then Tableau training. So I can now click on this. Okay. Then it should be able to give me the list that I have in there. First off, you need to authenticate. I'm using my account to authenticate. Microsoft account. I'll use that to authenticate, and then it takes me to another page where I just need to click on a link there and sign in just to confirm. It's just authentication, right? I think it's this one. So once it's fully, it's fully, we can now connect. Let's connect. Let's see what is happening. If everything works fine, we should be fine. It's loading. All right. So look at what I have. I have a lot of SharePoint composed looks. You see, converted. What we are looking for is just expense tracker. This one here. And you see SharePoint add a lot of metadata. So let us just click on, let's click on it and then look at the transform data. Let's look at the transform data. This is the transform data. Okay. So this is the data. And which was the data we have there? You have a name, you have a month, you have category, you have description. Receipt, you don't have anything. Group created by, we don't really have something for created by. See other things that we have, color tag, all those, these are by default from Tableau, from SharePoint list. It's always having a lot of things, so you have to know what you are looking for. So I'll just select what I need here. Choose column will be of help here. Choose column that I need. Choose column that I need. And choosing the column, all I just need to do is uncheck every other thing. Item, I need it. Date, amount, category, description. That is all that I need. That is fine. I can use all this, just this one, and then load and save. Click and close and apply, so that I have just that data, and that data comes in to me. Are you still following? Just drop a comment if you are. Drop a comment if you are following. So I have that question already. This is loading now. So once the expense tracker finish loading, you can save it and use it to do your report. Expense tracker is taking some time to load. So it's connecting already. Once that finished loading, now 5 rows loaded successfully, we should be able to get back to Power BI desktop and see what we have to build from there. So what is happening here? Apparently, okay. Okay, this is it here. All right, so we have it. We have the expense tracker now. So it is just taking some time to load. The data will come in while something else is loading. So, all right, so this is it. I can come back here and build once more. Okay, category by amount. So have something like this. Okay, so it takes the IS and then maybe a trend analysis. Control F, Control V, Control C, Control V. So maybe a trend analysis here for the date of uh, how did it happen, and remove category. Okay, so something like this. We can even save this now and go and add this to our, see, my expense tracker. My expense tracker. Control C. We can change this one to a very big kind of thing, and then maybe have it like this and give it a central. No, my expense tracker, take it to the center. Okay. So Control V, my expense tracker is fine. So let's take this one up, something like that. So we are not building something for the for fancy sake. I just want us to publish this, my expense tracker. My expense tracker. Okay, so if I have this, my expense tracker, where do I want to save it? Training March cohort. Training March cohort. Okay, that's not bad. That is saved there. And now that I save it, I can publish it. I'm publishing it because I needed to add it to my Teams channel. Let's go to March something. Let's put it here. March training. So while that is loading, we can now go back to here. Basically, as you can see, you can even do a lot of things here, but we'll be doing that in another demo. You can export this data, this SharePoint data, can do a whole lot. So I'm going to the home tab, which is fine. So we have it already. Let's go to Power BI from the cloud. You can even go from this SharePoint and click something like Power BI. Click on this icon at the top here, then select a Power BI. And once that Power BI comes up, you go to the workspace. We are going to the workspace. So let's go. Power BI training is counting down. We created this ourselves. We have created a list now. Now the report to Power BI service. We want to now to Teams. How this report that we build here, just go to workspace here, workspace, and the workspace that we publish it to is March 2025 data analytics platform. We can copy the link there and add a new tab. So let's say create a Power BI tab is fine. See, Power BI tab is created there. Opening, I need to, where's the one we created just now? My expense tracker, see, report. You can filter in Power BI to filter for report alone. Report, my expense tracker. I've just clicked on my. This was what we created just now. You can copy this. Coming up, it's not coming up here. You can, it takes some time to load. Okay, now it's asking for the link. Paste a Power BI link. So I will just paste my expense tracker link to my, I'll paste my expense tracker link to my Teams. I will add it, and that should be all. That will be all for today. So anytime here you are not doing anything anymore, we have a lot of things. You don't need to go to Power BI. That is what this means. Once anything is updated in Power BI, it comes by default to this place. So you see my expense to Teams report. So you see, you can drag and put it maybe at the first place. Drag, you see, you can drag and rearrange them, but it's the last one. Let's just put it at this last place. So pretty much that is where we call it a day. I want to say thank you for joining and staying this long. I appreciate everyone that has stayed. So feel free to reach out to me, put in your comment section, and let's get to know the real world situation we have. HR, you can use it for HR, IT ticket system, company intranet for news and announcement. We have said that all these are what you can use SharePoint for. One of the key best practices for SharePoint is to keep navigation simple and intuitive. use metadata instead of folders where necessary, set clear permission structure, and review regularly and update your content. If you have any question, please feel free to ask the question now. You have about some minutes for question and answer. Question, please. Any question? Any question? In the absence of question, I want to say thank you for joining this training. Thank you very much. Drop me a message anytime, any day. I'll be happy and willing to support or help at any time if you have any question. So we will meet some other time. I will also send a flyer out if there will be a new series, because this is going to be a series kind of training. This is series 1. We'll be having a new one. I want to say thank you all for joining. Thank you and bye-bye.